top 10 most memorable fights in One Piece. So let's get started. Spanning over 2 decades and 1,000 episodes, One Piece has no shortage of outstanding and memorable fights. Luffy's adventures have taken him from the East to Blue till the Egghead Island and more beyond, leaving no shortage of diverse opponents in between. His combative personality and ambitious goals result in more brawls than may be necessary for other crews. A few battles have outshone the rest due to their difficulty, of course, narrative significance, or how it helped the characters involved to grow. Such encounters have quickly become fan favorites and ensure that the series will be immortalized well after its conclusion. Alright, and starting with number 10, Kiku faced off against Kanjuro in Onigashima. Kiku's battle against Kanjuro was a highlight in the war for Onigashima. She spent so much time around him that she viewed him as an older sibling and tried to convince herself that he was being manipulated somehow. Time and again, Kanjuro exploited Kiku's goodwill. Kiku had to realize the kangaroo she knew actually never existed in order for her to wound the villain and save herself. It was a poignant moment of character growth that illustrated a valuable moral. And with number 9, Luffy's body, or let's say Luffy's devil fruit, gave him the advantage against Enel. At first, Enel believed himself as a god since his Lugia devil fruit made him untouchable. Not even Skypia's 4 greatest champions could harm him, which suggested that victory was nearly assured for him. He intended to escape with Nami as his victim, only for Luffy's daring intervention. Given Luffy's rubber body, Enel's electricity proved virtually useless against Monkey D. Luffy. The fight was still entertaining as Enel creatively used observation haki and a heated trident to keep the Straw Hats captain on his toes. And with number 8, the Straw Hats worked together against Oz. Oz's fight was actually the highlight of Thriller Bark. With Luffy momentarily incapacitated, the Straw Hats combined their strength in order to take the giant down. This was the first and the only instance of such a unified attack, bearing the run-in with Kuma at Shabundi. Throughout the battle, the Straw Hats' assistance of one another illustrated that the whole was greater than the sum of its parts. The only reason Oz's fight could have been improved is if they actually defeated him, rather than relying on a shadow-enhanced Luffy to save the day. And with number 7, Rayleigh held off Kizaru at Shabundi, and that's actually one of my favorite arcs, but that's not our topic. Rayleigh realized Luffy's potential at Shabundi and did everything in his power to help him reach it. When the Marines attacked in an attempt to avenge Charles, that son of a Kizaru himself strove to hunt Luffy down. When Rayleigh intervened, it was the first instance of an admiral power actually being challenged and made for a fantastic spectacle. Similarly, the subsequent punishment of the Straw Hats has significant narrative importance both for them and Kuma. It made them realize how weak they were in the grand scheme of this series, and that training was necessary to continue their adventures. And with number 6, Luffy's duel with Katakuri was honorable and creative. Luffy's duel against Katakuri was the most compelling fight in the whole Cake Island, unlike the other Big Mom pirates and even most of the series' antagonists. Katakuri battled with a sense of honor and refused to benefit from any unfair advantages, just like we saw. Additionally, the fight was extremely creative and unpredictable. For example, Luffy swallowed a significant amount of Katakuri's mochi to free himself and even escaped through Broly's mirror to take a break. Meanwhile, Katakuri's underlings set fire to the Thousand Sunny, which distracted the captain and made him worry about his friends. And with number 5, Ace held his own against Blackbeard. Since being introduced, Ace's vendetta against Blackbeard was his primary motivation. He sought to avenge Thatch and prove that no one would cross the Whitebeard pirates successfully. At the time, Ace was so powerful that Blackbeard called off his henchmen. He knew that they would be useless against him, and given the caliber of both combatants, such fears proved true. Their skirmish engulfed the entire island in flames and shadow, with Blackbeard only narrowly managing to subdue his upstart adversary through his devil fruit's advantages. And with number 4, Law and Kid teamed up against Big Mom. Big Mom was a major opponent in the Battle of Onigashima, although taking the Todorobo suggested that she wasn't explicit Kaido's side. She was more invested in defeating the Straw Hats rebellion. After being separated from Kaido, Big Mom squared off against Trafalgar Law and Eustace Kid in a battle that tested both of their abilities to the extreme. The fight was memorable since it was among the few instances where a non-Straw Hat character defeated an opponent of major narrative significance. It helped to establish them as Luffy's rivals rather than as a generic allies of a convenience. And with number 3, Zoro's fight against Mihawk changed his life. Zoro's battle against Mihawk may have been extremely one-sided, yes of course, but it defined the former's path for the remainder of the series. Disgraced and humiliated, Zoro's vowed never to lose ever since that fateful encounter. Although it was a promise, Zoro wasn't fully able to keep it. It did push him to attain heights that would have been impossible for most ordinary people. For example, he wouldn't have attempted to cut Dazbone's Mr. One at Alabasta if not for his drive to become the world's strongest swordsman. And with number 2, Luffy couldn't move after fighting Lucci, and yes, I got goosebumps while I'm saying it. Luffy's fight against Lucci was a climatic end to the Water 7 saga, considering that the CP9 agent had defeated him effortlessly just days before. Luffy's invention of Gears 2 or Gears 2nd and Gear 3rd showed how far he was willing to go for the sake of his friends. As the Buster Call raged around him, Luffy and Lucci fought until they were bloody and broken. Although Luffy prevailed, he struggled so much that he physically couldn't move a muscle to save himself after defeating Rob Lucci. Luckily, their subsequent encounter at the Egghead Island wasn't as difficult for him. And let's go with number 1. Yes, it is for me one of the greatest, if not the greatest fight I've ever seen in the manga history. The fight against Kaido has yet to be surpassed. The battle against Kaido was the series' single most spectacular brawl to date. He fought against Zoro, Law, Kid, Yamato, Killer, all 9, Akazaya of course, Momonosuke, and even Luffy himself on multiple occasions before finally being defeated. Moreover, since the island of Onigashima floated towards the flower capital, the heroes had a strict timetable they needed in order to defeat Kaido. In the end, not even learning advanced armor and haki was sufficient for overcoming Kaido. Luffy also had to unlock the ancient power of the, wait for it, the Gear 5th and the awakening of the Devil Fruit, which is the Sun God Nika. And yes guys, that was it. Drop your thoughts in the comment section down below, and what do you think that it's supposed to be in that list? And at least that's my opinion, and write down in the comment section yours. And I guess that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share this video to your friends and family and everybody in this planet. Thank you guys. Until next time, see ya.